Tassos Anastasiou trained as an actuary and came to INSEAD in 2006 to study for an EMBA. He later joined RSA Insurance, where he was CEO for Asia, Middle East and Russia. Welcome to Alumni Experience, Tassos. You studied actuarial science as an undergraduate. How did you choose that?
Looking back, I think it's quite difficult for a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old person to know exactly what they like doing for the rest of their lives. Main reason I chose that particular field coming from Cyprus is because at the time there was no one at the time being a qualified actuary coming from Cyprus. So for me it was more like fewer people, great opportunity to get employment. Back then, of course, I never realized or didn't plan to stay abroad 20 years and basically live the rest of my life outside Cyprus.
So you worked as an actuary and a consultant, and after your EMBA, you joined the insurance industry. Did you need the EMBA to make that switch?
Actually, it was I don't think if you don't have an MBA you cannot make that switch, but it was certainly a catalyst. Where the MBA actually helped me, it was while I was still doing actuarial stuff, but within the insurance company, there where I was able to engage with the management. The way I was able to bring to the table, let's say, not just the numbers, but the way you present things, the way you understand the organizational challenges, the cultural challenges, so on and so forth.
After some years at RSA, you were made CEO for Asia, Middle East and Russia. What was it like to suddenly become the boss?
It's very hard. It's very hard. I think personal experience, it was hard on two grounds. One is investing and spending a lot of energy and effort to get there, to convince, let's put it simply, to convince your bosses that you can make the switch from a technical person to a broader person. It doesn't happen overnight. You need to demonstrate, you need to socialize, you need to prove, etc., etc. So it takes time, and you get tired in a way. Once you get there, you get energized and you feel excited. But if you don't really prepare yourself, you can be in for a very big surprise, because running a business and taking decisions, I think this is a cliche, but it could actually be quite lonely. You need to, and I'm now moving more into organizational behavior, all these sort of things. There is situations where, especially if you are a fast riser, you can go from where, you are a subordinate to actually being the leader. And especially if you have experience gap, age gaps, and all these sort of things, people can always, they might see you differently. So it was quite tough. I think if I were to broaden it to how you prepare yourself of getting, these leadership positions, one key aspect is the support network you have around you. People that they make it to the top, they are good, they are energetic. There is all these good things, let's say, but we shouldn't be underestimating the value of the people around you. By people, I don't mean just the colleagues. It's the family, is the coaches, is the confidants, etc., etc. If you manage to get a good balance, it can help you, especially in the very stressful, fast-pacing, difficult situations. And that one, I think, you can acquire once you get the job, but I think it's better if you have prepared it, before you get there, because you don't know when you're gonna need it.
Let's talk about insurance in emerging markets. Presumably, as people get richer, there's more demand for insurance. How easy is it to tap into that?
It's very difficult, actually, and that's what I like doing, because you can bring your experience from other markets and try to tap into it. We can start from the platform. If there is no regulation, so if the bodies in those different countries don't allow it, it might not take off the ground, because people will say, well, what's legal and what's not legal, or what's compulsory and what's not compulsory. So there is something about the rules and the regulations. Then there is something about the mentality or the culture of the people. In some countries, they will say, why should I buy home insurance? maybe I can fit an alarm and it would do the trick. Some others, they might say, maybe I buy a dog. And, dog can act as a companion and at the same time help me, secure my my house. So there is this thinking as well. And sometimes, you need to work with people. You need to understand the cultural, bias in order to help them understand the value of insurance.
Does working in insurance change the way you see things? What do you think, for instance, when you see a huge shipping port full of containers exploding?
For me personally, whenever such an event happens, the first thing I think about is loss of life. It's you can't really attach any value. It's valuable if there is loss of life. But then you come to the material damages that follow. That could be big, etc., etc. The other thing that people maybe they don't associate is that the world is so interconnected, and globalization has made things so connected that if there is losses in one part of the world, they can still significantly affect other parts. So, for example, if there is a huge explosion in China where there is a manufacturing facility, there might be some shortage of cars in Europe. 6 months, 12 months down the line, spare parts. And if that's the case, then you might see the price of an average car go a bit up because the factories there are not in operation. So there is this concept of what we call business interruption, because the chain from sourcing to manufacturing to selling, it's so globalized. So if such big events happen, it can actually affect the whole of the world. It's not just localized.